好的，非常感谢。首先呢，我必须得承认，我对这个主题来说，我并不是一个专家，所以我回答的问题可能并不是你想要的这个结果。那么我们首先就是要回答我的一些问题。所以呢，首先呢，它第一个问题就是一个大的问题。这个大问题呢，就是互联网是不是对于品牌以及品牌和消费者关系角度来说是最大的一个事件，还是说互联网仅仅是另外一个营销的一种渠道而已，仅仅是另外一种做广告的一种方式而已，还是一个非常大的一个改变？我来先开始说吧。我认为更多的应该是第一种，因为我认为互联网是对于我们来说是非常非常大的一个转变。因为没有互联网的话，几年前的时候我们做营销的方式是非常简单的，我们就找到一把剑，然后射出这把剑，然后射中目标就结束了。但是现在呢，实际上我们要看到底怎么来看待消费者，因为它再也不是一个非常确定的一个答案了。我们实际上像在踢一个球，要始终让这个球来悬在空中，但是要确定，但是有时候这个球不一定能够达到这个消费者那边去，因为中国的现在发展速度非常的快，无论是从经济的发展还是从互联网发展的角度来说，我们有微信有微博等等，所以说呢，这种也在改变着我们消费者和品牌连接的一种方式。它再也不是一个非常逻辑的一种方式，一步一步的从消费这边连接到我们的品牌。所以呢，我们现在连接的方式已经超越了时间，超越了这种方式。所以我认为互联网绝对是一个非常非常大的一种改变，而不仅仅是一种方式。我非常同意刚才这位嘉宾的观点。我认为呢，我从来没有把互联网当作一种媒体，因为你要去看80或者90后这一代人的话，他们出生的时候就是有互联网的话，所以他们所有的行为，他们都是与互联网密切相关的。所以呢，我认为现在媒体变得已经是碎片化的了，就像微信一样。Actually, for the communication, for the marketing, I think it has increased very fast because of the internet. But traditionally, it is a competition. But for the enterprises, it is not a competition because internet brings us more opportunities. Actually, for us, for our enterprise, for our company, we are putting more and more investment in the internet because compared to the traditional ways like the TV programs, the internet can enable you to interact with the consumers. This is not available in the traditional media. So I think in recent 2 years, the internet is developing really very fast. I think internet for the brands and for the enterprises is a very, very big complementary way with the traditional ways of media because it is more interactive so that it can bring the brands a more comprehensive feedback for the brands. 所以呢，就是说大家都认为互联网是非常非常大的一个变化，它大大改变了我们的品牌以及我们品牌和消费者的这种之间的关系。所以作为一个很大的一个机会，你认为就从利用互联网这个大的机会和角度来说，你认为哪些品牌很好的利用了互联网这个时代，成了很大的一个赢家？当然你不能说自己是最大的赢家。 我来用中文来回答这个问题。Actually, I think the biggest winners, as mentioned in this morning, the BAT, Baidu, Alibaba, and Tencent. I think the three brands are the biggest winners. But from different perspectives, they are biggest winners. From instant message, from research, or the search engine. And now, those who can integrate different aspects will be the biggest winner. And also for us, the consumption-oriented products or brands, I think we can quickly apply some innovations and try to integrate some functions or technology to the brand. We will also be the biggest winner. So we have many examples. I think all these brands who are successful in the internet area are very good examples for us to learn from. Okay, I will speak in Chinese. Okay, 我还是说英文吧。其实这个问题呢，让我很纠结，就是到底说有没有任何品牌在这个互联网时代脱颖而出，或者说有很好的利用这个互联网。实际上，你看到底谁是最大的赢家？我觉得还要看我们衡量的标准是什么。我认为呢，因为我们中国这个一些行业的特性是非常非常特殊的。我想就像刚才你说的一样，像阿里巴巴或者腾讯或者百度，他们真的是我们这个游戏当中的赢家，他们真的很好的能够利用消费者连接的一种方式。实际上这也带来了很多的这种营销的一种方式，对于我们营销人员来说也是很大的一个机会。我认为最大的赢家可能也有可能是消费者本身，因为从有些当然是积极的，当然有些方面可能并不是那么积极，但是对于那些年轻人是非常积极的，因为互联网可以让他们在同一个时间同时做3到4件事情，这对于老一代来说，他们可能还不会使用 iPhone， 所以它能够让人们更好的彼此的进行连接，所以这是我的个人的一个观点。I totally agree with you. Actually, in the internet area, I think there are no losers. We are all winners because internet changed our way of life and bring us more opportunities. And also for the enterprises, it also bring enterprise opportunities, increase the revenue or the benefits. And for the brands of the products, we have new ways to market. And for the consumers, it brings more convenience and it enables the consumers to have more opportunities to engage or to interact with their brands or the products. So I think for everyone, we are all the biggest winners. For the consumers, if we can make the best use of the internet, the brand or the company will be the biggest winner. So for the internet enterprises, like Tencent or the Baidu, if they can be very innovative, if they can make the best use of the internet, they can also be the biggest winner. So in the internet era, we can be very innovative, we can make some breakthroughs, we can to be very innovative to become the biggest winner. 实际上是非常有意思的一个回答，也就是说大家没有输家都是赢家，就是我们每个人都能够从互联网这个时代当中去收获许多。当然有些公司它很好的利用了互联网时代，取得了很大的发展，但是有些公司呢，它并没有能够很好的抓住这个时代的机遇，没有参与到互联网时代这个大潮当中来。所以呢，问题就是说，你觉得有没有一些企业或者有一些品牌，它没有真正的很好的参与到这个互联网的时代，或者说 没有很好的利用互联网给我们带来的司机，有没有？我认为呢，实际上可能只有一些技术行业，它真能够很好利用我们这个互联网时代的一些机遇。在一些其他的，像一些手机行业，比如说像诺基亚，大概在10年前，你看诺基亚在几年前或者5年之后就完全被 iPhone 给取代了。但是呢，我认为真正的就是那些尝试去能够真正的去走在前头，去应对这个挑战，来勇于尝试新的一些方法，才能够很好的赢得这场游戏。当然这也并不是十分容易的，往往来说非常难做到，因为我们在数字化的时代很难把我们做的这些东西给量化，去到底告诉我们到底是成功还是不成功。Actually, there are also some losers. I think it's like the public medias. They are very slow in terms of the media because we often see many newspapers or the newspaper agencies. Actually, they just rely on the revenue of advertising. But because of the change, but like some magazines, but they can find some ways to go online, or they have ebook, or they can transform their way to sell their content, sell their lifestyle. So for the traditional media, you can also find this technology to support it. It's not like the public traditional medias. So we have to be innovative so as not to be replaced by new media. Relatively speaking, I think in different industries, it depends on your ability to react to the internet era. We have a friend who go to the Hunan TV to visit, to have inspection. Actually, you can see, if you can make a very good combination of the new technology, you have to change in a changing environment, then you can also be very successful. I think the only loser is the China Telecom. Why? Because of the emergency of WeChat. Before we send text messages, now we never send text messages anymore. Text message has become a garbage information source. So I think this will also be an influence because they do not change. They stick to their traditional way to do business. So for those who are conservative, like the China Telecom, maybe they will be influenced by this. 非常有意思的一个答案。我们讲到了消费者和品牌之间的关系，不仅仅是从一些科技的角度，还是从产品的角度来说。就你们来看，就消费者和品牌之间的关系来看，你觉得在这个时代最大的一个变化是什么？我觉得呢，现在消费者获得信息的速度越来越快了，因为品牌来说，你一定要对于你的价值要保持高度的一致性，同时呢，你要尝试能够保持高度的相关性，所以呢，我们需要能够保证我们产品价值的一个自信。这样的话呢，我们能够利用我们这种新的媒体，所以这是我认为我们一定要能够应对变化的这样一种方式。Actually, consumers most outweighs the brand. Sometimes the internet may make the brand feel more authoritative, but because of the change of the environment, I think the brands shall be more moderate. Brands should be willing to make friends with consumers. It's not just to lower your position, but also in terms of the communication methods and the speaking style, as well as the development of new products. You have to listen to the voice of the consumers. Naglaw Camel Suit, we also made some involvement with the consumers to do the research and the development of new products. And then you will find that the products will be more popular among the consumers. So as companies, we have to learn, we have to study the new relation with consumers to be more equal, more interactive with them. Actually, today, for consumers are also a media, like a self-media concept. Before we just use some TV stations, we just use the TV station to tell the consumers how good we are. But now in the self-media, because of the internet era, if you have a fans, 1,000 or 10,000 fans in the Weibo, their impression or their feeling about a brand will also influence their fans. They will create a media environment. So we have to target them very well. We have to consider or reflect whether our way of communication is acceptable to the consumers. Because for the self-media, they have comments for the products. Because for some of the consumers, they are our consumers. At the same time, they are also media. So I think in the internet area, we have to consider this aspect also. 我这边还有最后一个问题，因为我们可能会有一些观众过来的问题。最后一个问题呢，就是很难想象2004年是10年前了，因为感觉就像8个月之前一样的感觉。在04年的时候呢，就过去10年前没有任何智能手机，当时也没有一些什么线上线下的活动，也没有微信，没有 Facebook， 没有微博，也没有亚马逊，也没有推特这些东西。但是现在呢，因为互联网的发展，很多都开始出现了，并且我们都利用它来进行我们的宣传和营销。你们认为在未来10年，也就是说从2024年来看的话，你觉得将会在未来10年什么会成为最大的一个事件，会成为我们的焦点？10年啊。If I shorten it to 5 years, I think some phenomenon can be seen in 5 years. I think 2 points. First is artificial intelligence. Because artificial intelligence has been researched for a long time. But recently it has made some breakthroughs. It's like Google Glass, these kind of products. It can help more people to improve our life. But for Google Glass has been talked about for a very long time, but we have not seen some successful cases. Actually, in the US, they have a brand use Google Glass. When the consumer like a certain color, they will use the Google Glass to record the color. Then, when they go back home, they can put the color, all the colors to the wall. And then they will use the app, and then the app will recommend the color. Then you can directly buy through this color recommendation, which means that they can use Google Glass to finish the whole circle of purchasing. So I think this kind of technology will be more and more common. The second point now is now we mentioned about the scan. You can scan to check the quality of the skin. So I think in the medical service, for some of the diagnosis can be done without doctors. You can use some simple devices to do some initial diagnosis. Based on the database, you can check the kind of disease, and then the doctors will get involved in the further step. So, and for the food industry, it can also be used, like the cook. For some junior works, it can be done by artificial intelligence, but not cooks themselves. So for the cooks, will get involved in the most complicated step. So as the development of the artificial intelligence, I think the humans themselves will improve better and better. But I think some jobs or some works have to be upgraded. Otherwise, they will disappear. And also, I think in the future, the brands will be more difficult to use the media to communicate. I think the branding entertainment to get integrated into life, into entertainment, will be a must. Because in the future, consumers can avoid all kinds of advertising. Everything they choose will be new. So if you are not innovative, it is impossible for you to get into the side of the consumers. So we can choose some new ways to do marketing, like Monk Milk. We can do entertainment marketing, which will be a big trend in the future. I think I have 2 points. First, after 10 years, maybe the mobile phone will not be called a mobile phone anymore. Why? Because I think mobile phone has become an essential tool, not only for receiving or calling phones. I think 10 years later, mobile phone will be even more important. It will not. For the management of fragmented time, I think mobile phone will no longer be a tool. You can use it to do shopping. You can check the milk. You can check the product of wine, and then you can make it delivered to your house this evening. So the functions of the mobile phone will be greatly improved in the future. It is no longer a smart terminal. Because in the internet era, because now, according to the data, the number of people who get online through the mobile phones will be much higher than those through the PC terminals. Before, 10 years ago, the consumers watched the CCTV or watched the Hunan TV. But now the consumers, they have many more platforms to get this information because the internet has enough amount of information. Only the content is good enough can the consumers recognize it, because they have a limited space. They have the right to choose the content they like, their favorite advertising, their favorite content. So I think this is a big challenge for the advertisers and for our companies, because it's a content-oriented era.
Maybe because I'm in the brand.
因为可能我在的领域不是在一些信息领域的，因为我们这个产品更是与生活方式相关的，所以呢，我觉得这个问题对我来说真的是非常非常难的。当然并不是从科技的角度来说啊，更多的是从人的心理的角度来说的。因为我认为我们有各种各样技术的趋势来帮助我们连接彼此。我认为呢， 它未来的趋势真正就是回到本真，也就是要有高质量的生活，就是从消费者心理的角度来说，就想要一些品牌能够让他们真正回到本身，能够让他们更好的与心理上或者情感上进行连接的一些品牌，而不是仅仅是功能本身。因为在中国实际上已经有一些这样的趋势了，因为这种线上线下的这些连接，实际上消费者不仅仅关注的是他们在外面能够看到什么，更关注的是能够在心理层面能够给他们提供什么样，在情感上面能够给他们提供什么样。所以我觉得我们需要这样一种需求，能够让消费者能够在情感上来使他们连接起来。因为尽管我们遇到很多的科技和挑战，所以我认为在未来10年，这对于品牌来说，对于产品来说，也能够带来我们很多的一些机会。我们能够在一些情感的平台上使他们实现区别化，因为人们现在需求的就是要回到本真，这就是我的观点。所以要真正的在内心连接消费者，让他们在情感上参与进来。非常好的一个答案。我这边有需要补充的。I think in the future the biggest winner is not the owner of technology. It must be those who can integrate the technology to meet the needs of the consumers. It's like Apple. Actually, all the technologies are not created by Apple. What they can do is to find the needs of the consumers and integrate all kinds of technologies to sell the emotional and creativity to the consumers. I think it will also be the same in the future. In the following 5 or 10 years, maybe there will be a new invention. Maybe the real innovation is not about the technology themselves, is to integrate all kinds of technologies in a smart way so as to improve consumers' life. 非常好的一个答案。好，大家从我们听众这边有没有任何要问的问题？好的，时间大概差不多了，非常感谢。
That was an interesting end. I think what Ushikan really meant was you can never replace a master blender at Johnny Walker with a robot or a digital printer. Right, which brings us to the end of what I think has been a valuable learning experience. And I would encourage all of you, would request all of you to fill out this evaluation form, if you haven't done that already. I think it would be very useful for Simba events to keep your comments in mind for future events. I'm sure they have all your contacts and will be happy to remain in touch with you. So thank you for being here, to all the speakers once again, to all the sponsors once again. It was a delight to be part of this session. Good evening and have a good weekend.